Hey guys, so let's take a look at this Greedo helmet that I've made. This file was from Millennium Workshop, and it came in several different pieces to where you could print this on a 256 by 256 build volume. So P1S, P2S, A1, you can print it on any one of those. But I actually I wanted to do this in as few pieces as possible. So I did this on the H2S, and I did the nose or the mouth and the main part of it, along with the ears. Those were all separate. The top part of this was separate, but I combined all that in the slicer so I could print as much of it as possible. The ears, those were separate. These I just plastic welded them on, and also the little spike things, those were all individually separate pieces. So believe it or not, I didn't do any sanding on this helmet because he's kind of organic looking. He doesn't need to be really smooth, so all I had to do was hide the layer lines, and I did that with this truck bed lining. And I try to use it as sparingly as I could because you can kind of overdo it if you hit it in one spot for too long. So you want to be quick about it when you're using this. So as you can see, it kind of gives it a bumpy texture. And that, of course, hides your layer lines. So once I did that, I did hit it. Oh, there's a little bit of a layer line here you can see, but that's all right. It kind of blends in. Here's the back. The back's a separate piece. But once I did that, I just spray painted him with the Rust-Oleum green. That was the base color. And then the rest of this was pretty much airbrush. So I did a lighter green to bring out some highlights. Did that all the way around. I even did it on the tips of the mohawk. You can see there. And then to give it some shadow, I did it looks black here, but it's actually a darker green. And I did that all throughout his mohawk to give it some shadow. I did lose a piece here, so I'm gonna have to reprint that and add that back to it. And then for this flesh color, I did use this Vallejo brown rose. I saw this when I was looking for reference images of Greedo. There was a video game version where he sort of looked like this, so I really liked that look. So that's what I went for. Mostly around the snout and the nose. I think kind of underneath. You can see there. And then I did a little bit around the eyes. And then the ears. And so for the eyes, this is a plastic Christmas ornament, just a clear ornament, and you put the two halves together and it makes a Christmas ball. Well, I only had to use a half, one on this eye and one for this eye. And underneath that, if you can see where it's kind of sparkly, so there is a 3D printed eye mesh that's a half dome that looks just like this. And what I did with that is I used this blackout mask. I've used it on other projects, but if you stretch it, you can see through it pretty much. Kind of like pantyhose a little bit, or maybe a dress sock. If you stretch it as much as you can stretch it, you can actually see through that. So I use this with some spray glue. I put it over the 3D printed eye mesh, and if you can see some of the sparkle in there, I used a pearlized clear coat to get that sparkle. After that, I just kind of added it underneath this half Christmas ornament, and I just hot glued them in. And that's the final product. I'm pretty happy with this. This is something that I normally don't 3D print. Of course, I'm a big fan of Batman and Marvel stuff, but I really enjoyed this one. So I'm doing a couple of other ones, and we'll see how those come out. And I can't wait to show you guys. So stay tuned, Semper Fi, and may the force be with you.